She bragged, "You'll never leave. You're too scared." Her friends burst out laughing. I stayed quiet. When she returned, her cards were declined, the car was gone, and her phone was disconnected. It was a housewarming party for Eric and Lisa. My girlfriend Lauren had been on one of her tirades. She was holding court, surrounded by her friends, basking in their laughter. Her words had cut deep, but I just stood there, a quiet smile on my face. A plan had been set in motion, a plan she knew nothing about. I watched her leave. She blew me a kiss, a mocking gesture. "Don't wait up," she chirped, winking at her friends. They'd all giggled. I just nodded. My best friend Jake caught my eye. He knew. He gave me a subtle nod back. The clock was ticking. 2 hours later, her text started. Furious, confused, her credit card was declined at a fancy restaurant, then another. She tried to call me. My phone was off. She called Jake. He didn't answer. She called Eric and Lisa. They politely told her I'd left. Her panic wasn't about losing me. It was about losing control. This was the moment I knew she never respected me. She finally made it back to our apartment, or rather my apartment. She slammed the door open, her face a mask of rage and bewilderment. "What the hell, Daniel? My cards are all declined. Where's my car, and why is my phone not working?" I sat on the couch, calm, reading a book. I looked up slowly. "Your cards are declined because I canceled the joint accounts and froze the credit cards. The car, a gift from my parents, has been returned to them, and your phone, which was on my family plan, has been disconnected." My voice was flat, emotionless. Her jaw dropped. Her eyes darted around the apartment. She saw the packed boxes by the door, her clothes, her shoes, her trinkets. All neatly boxed and labeled. You can't do this," she shrieked. "You wouldn't dare." She looked around for her friends, for anyone to validate her outrage, but the party was over. There was no one to witness her performance. I stood up. "I just did, Lauren." My uncle Paul, a stern lawyer, had guided me through this. "Don't just leave, Daniel," he'd advised. "Make sure she feels the consequences immediately. She'll only respect that." He was right. Lauren only understood consequences. The first red flag had been subtle. Our first vacation together, to Italy, I'd paid for everything, assuming she'd split the cost later. She never did. "Oh, I thought it was a treat," she'd laughed, batting her eyelashes. I let it slide. Then there were the loans. Always a few hundred here, 1,000 there. Just until my next commission check comes in. The checks always came, but the repayment never did. My mom, Nancy, had once commented, "Daniel, she seems to have a very expensive lifestyle for someone who's always waiting for a check." I dismissed it as mom worrying. Now those words stung. The financial betrayal was deep. I found an email hidden in a forgotten folder on our shared laptop. It was to her friend, Jessica. "Daniel's paying for everything in Italy. Lol, so easy to get him to splurge." My stomach churned. It wasn't just the money. It was the mocking, the casual cruelty. She'd been laughing at me. This was the moment I knew she never respected me. Then came the infidelity. Not a sudden, fiery affair, but a slow, insidious erosion of trust. I found old DMs on her tablet connected to her social media. To my cousin Brandon, they were flirty, suggestive, Lauren trying to get Brandon to come to a bar with her without Daniel. Brandon, bless him, had been oblivious. Just friendly banter, he'd told me later when I confronted him. But to Lauren, it was more. It was a game, a thrill. She was also constantly messaging my best friend, Jake, venting about Daniel, she'd called it, but I saw the timestamps. Late at night, when I was asleep next to her. The messages were filled with complaints about me, painting me as controlling, boring, emotionally distant. She was building a false narrative, ready for the day she wanted to leave or be caught. Her panic wasn't about losing me. It was about losing control of her narrative. I wasn't angry. I was finished. The words felt liberating. Lauren was now pacing the living room, her voice rising in pitch. "You think you can just kick me out? This is my home too. We're practically married." She screamed, "No, Lauren, this is my apartment, my lease, my furniture. You contributed nothing," I said, pointing to the boxes. "And we are not married, thank God." She stopped dead, her eyes narrowed. "You're just jealous. You can't stand that I have friends, that I have a life outside of you." Classic deflection, but it wouldn't work this time. "Your friends," I said, picking up her phone from the coffee table. "Let's talk about them." I opened a folder on my phone, screenshots, dozens of them, her text conversations with Eric and Lisa, with Tom and Claire, all of them filled with her complaints about me, her lies, her manipulative stories. "He's so clingy. He never lets me have fun, he's always so broke. Her friends had seen these, they had sympathized, they had laughed with her. I knew this because I'd sent them to Jake. Jake, who'd confronted them. Eric and Lisa had been horrified. Tom and Claire had been defensive, then embarrassed. We didn't realize it was that bad, Daniel, Eric had stammered. They had been her flying monkeys, unknowingly complicit in her web of lies. I had systematically dismantled her support system. She looked at the phone in my hand, then at me. A deep, primal fear flickered in her eyes. The laughter, the bravado, the confidence, it was all gone, replaced by pure, unadulterated terror. "You wouldn't dare," she whispered. "Oh, I dare, Lauren." I stood up, walked to the apartment door, and opened it wide. "Your boxes are outside, your ride is here." A small moving truck, which Jake had arranged, was parked in the driveway. A few movers were already loading her things. Her face crumpled. She looked around the apartment one last time, as if committing it to memory, her kingdom now lost. "You'll regret this, Daniel," she choked out, her voice trembling. "You'll be lonely, you'll miss me." I just looked at her, my face devoid of emotion. I wasn't angry, I was finished. This wasn't about missing her, it was about reclaiming my peace. Revenge ending a month later, the annual charity ball was held at the city's grandest hotel. Lauren, desperate to maintain her social standing, had somehow managed to snag an invitation. She arrived, head held high, a new man on her arm. She spotted me across the ballroom, chatting with my mom, Nancy, and Uncle Paul. Her eyes narrowed, but she maintained her plastered smile. She still thought she could outmaneuver me. She still thought she could win. The auction portion of the evening began. I had arranged for a special presentation. The MC, a well-known local personality, called me to the stage. And now, a special contribution from Mr. Daniel Thompson, a staunch supporter of our charity. I walked onto the stage, a tablet in my hand. "Before we continue with the auction," I began, my voice clear, "I have a short video I'd like to share, a little story about accountability." The large screen behind me flickered to life. The first image was a screenshot of Lauren's email to Jessica, proudly detailing how easily she manipulated me for the Italy trip. Then came the Venmo receipts, detailing her extravagant hidden spending from the secret account she maintained. Gasps rippled through the elegant crowd. Lauren's face, visible across the room, went from confident to ashen. Her date looked utterly bewildered. Next, a series of screenshots from her DMs with Brandon, full of suggestive texts and invitations to meet behind my back. Brandon, who was also at the event, squirmed in his seat. The crowd was no longer just gasping, they were openly whispering, some shaking their heads in disgust. Her new date tried to subtly put distance between them. Her parents, who were also present, looked mortified, their faces red with shame. The final piece of evidence was a voice recording. A conversation I'd discreetly captured where Lauren was boasting to a friend about how she'd convinced me to cover all her bills, how she'd lied about her financial situation, and how she planned to bleed me dry. Her actual words, her sneering tone, filled the grand ballroom. "He's too much of a soft touch," her voice echoed, amplified for all to hear. "He'll never leave, he's too scared." The irony was brutal. Lauren stumbled back, nearly knocking over a waiter, her eyes locked with mine, a desperate, raw fury radiating from her. You monster," she shrieked, her voice cracking. But her words were drowned out by the stunned silence, then the murmurs, and finally, outright disgusted whispers from the crowd. I simply looked at her, my face devoid of emotion. Her panic wasn't about losing me, it was about losing control of her public image. I wasn't angry, I was finished. I handed the tablet back to the MC, who looked at me with a mixture of shock and respect. I walked off stage, leaving Lauren humiliated, isolated, and utterly broken in the glare of the ballroom lights. Closure ending a month later, the annual charity ball was held at the city's grandest hotel. I debated whether to attend. My mom, Nancy, encouraged me. "You deserve to be there, Daniel. It's your event, too." I decided to go, but not for revenge, for myself. I saw Lauren across the ballroom trying to make an impression. She was alone, her usual coterie of friends noticeably absent. Our eyes met. She looked away quickly, a hint of shame in her posture. I spent the evening mingling, talking to friends, and genuinely enjoying myself. I didn't seek her out, nor did I avoid her. I simply existed happily in a space where she no longer held power over me. During a quiet moment, my best friend Jake found me. "Hey, I heard Lauren's been having a tough time. Her new apartment isn't great and she's struggling financially. Apparently her family cut her off after everything came out." He sounded a little sympathetic, a little sad. I just nodded. "That's her burden to carry, Jake, not mine." I didn't feel a surge of vindication, just a quiet understanding. Her choices led her there. My choices led me here to a place of peace. My uncle Paul joined us. "Daniel, I've seen some of Lauren's recent posts. She's trying to spin a new narrative, playing the victim. Don't engage." "I won't," I assured him. "Her words don't affect me anymore." It was true. The constant need for validation, the manipulative games, they were a distant memory. I had taken control of my own life. I had walked away with my dignity intact. I wasn't angry. I was finished. Later that evening, as I was leaving, I saw Lauren by the coat check, looking forlorn. She was struggling with her coat, a look of defeat on her face. Our eyes met again. This time she didn't look away. There was no defiance, no anger, just a profound sadness. I gave her a small, polite nod, a gesture of acknowledging a past without reliving it. Then I walked out into the cool night air, a genuine smile on my face. My new love interest, Maya, was waiting for me. We had met through a mutual friend, and she was refreshing, honest, and kind. We talked about the evening, about our plans for the weekend, about the future. I felt light, unburdened. This wasn't revenge, this was liberation. This was a new chapter, finally written on my own terms. The drama, the betrayal, the lies, they were all behind me. My life was finally, truly my own.